Arya Nox walked carefully through the silent ruins of the research moon. The sky above her was always dark, covered by clouds of dust that never moved. The place had been empty for years, but today her scanner picked up something strange. A soft energy signal pulsed from deep inside the abandoned alien facility. Arya did not know what it was, but she felt she had to check it. She always followed her curiosity, even when it got her in danger. She stepped through a broken metal door and moved into a long hallway. The walls were covered in old symbols she could not read. Her boots made small echoes as she walked. The energy signal grew stronger. It felt warm, almost like a heartbeat. Arya kept going, holding her flashlight in one hand and her small tool pack in the other. She thought she was alone, but something inside her said she was not. At the end of the hallway, she found a round chamber. Strange metal tubes ran across the walls like veins. In the center, inside a cracked glass pod, something small moved. Arya came closer, careful and slow. She pointed her flashlight inside the pod and gasped. A tiny dragon hatchling lay there, curled up like a baby. Its scales glowed softly with light blue color. It looked weak, cold, and scared. Arya's heart softened. She had never seen a real dragon, not even a hatchling. Everyone believed dragons were almost extinct. But here one was, right in front of her, shaking like it had no strength left. She opened the pod carefully. Warm air rushed out. The hatchling looked up at her with big bright eyes. It did not try to run. It simply stared at her, as if waiting for her to decide its fate. "It's okay," she whispered. "I won't hurt you." She reached out her hand. The little dragon hesitated for a moment, and then slowly lowered its head onto her palm. Arya felt a soft spark, like the creature trusted her. She gently lifted it and held it close to her chest. It was light, warm, and trembling. Arya felt a strong urge to protect it. She did not know why. She only knew she could not leave it here. Suddenly, her radio crackled. A voice she did not like spoke through the static. "Target located. Moving in." Arya froze. She knew that voice. It belonged to Captain Rel, a mercenary leader who sold rare creatures to the highest bidder. If he found a hatchling, he would take it, use it, or sell it for millions. Arya held the dragon closer and slowly backed away from the chamber. Then the floor shook. Heavy footsteps echoed through the corridor behind her. She could hear metal armor and the low hum of weapons being activated. They were close. They knew exactly where she was. Arya ran. She moved through the dark hallways as fast as she could. The hatchling pressed itself against her, making a soft crying sound. Arya whispered to it, telling it everything would be fine, even though she was not sure about it herself. She reached a broken service tunnel and crawled inside. Dust and small rocks fell around her as she squeezed through the narrow space. Voices echoed behind her. "She has the creature. Do not let her leave the facility." Arya's breath grew heavy. She pushed herself forward and reached the exit door that led outside. The cold wind hit her face when she stepped out onto the rocky ground. The moon's surface stretched far in every direction, empty and harsh. Her small ship was parked not too far away. If she could reach it, she and the hatchling might escape. She took a step forward. A red laser appeared on her chest. Arya stopped. She slowly turned her head. Captain Rel stood behind her with 3 armored soldiers. They had moved faster than she expected. Their weapons were pointed directly at her. Rel's face was cold, without any feeling. "Hand over the hatchling," he said. "You know you cannot protect it." Arya shook her head. "It's just a baby." Rel raised his weapon slightly. "This baby is worth more than your life. Do not make this hard." Arya felt the hatchling press against her again. Its small claws held onto her shirt. She could feel it breathing fast, scared and confused. She looked at Rel and then at her ship. She knew she could not reach it in time. She knew she had no chance against 4 armed mercenaries. But something inside her refused to let them take the little creature. She took one step back, blocking the hatchling with her body. "I won't let you take it," she said softly. Rel sighed like he was tired of the conversation. "Then you leave me no choice." Everything after that happened fast. A bright flash filled her vision. Arya fell to her knees. She felt warmth spreading through her chest. Her legs refused to move. She held the hatchling tightly even as her body grew weak. The little dragon cried out, a soft, high sound filled with fear. Arya collapsed on the ground. Her vision blurred. She could hear Rel's voice, but it sounded far away. Take the creature and leave her. But the hatchling did not leave her. It curled against her hand and glowed brighter, as if trying to keep her warm. Arya wanted to say something, but her breath was too thin. She looked at the tiny creature one last time. Its eyes were full of sadness. She hoped someone else would protect it. The world around her became darker. Her heartbeat slowed. Her last thought was simple and clear. I did the right thing. Then everything went silent, and the stars above her slowly faded away. Arya felt nothing at first. Only darkness. No pain, no breath, no body. It was like floating in a silent ocean where time did not move. She tried to speak, but she had no voice. She tried to move, but she had no arms or legs. She wondered if this was death. Then something warm touched her mind. It felt soft, familiar, like the tiny dragon hatchling she had tried to protect. A bright light spread through the darkness, not blinding but gentle. Arya felt it enter her, surround her, and lift her. She felt as if someone was calling her back, pulling her toward a new place. Her eyes opened, but the world she saw was not the world she remembered. Arya gasped and sat up quickly. She was inside a glowing chamber, made of crystal walls. Blue energy flowed to the floor like liquid light. Strange symbols pulsed around her, reacting to her movements. She lifted her hands and froze. Those were not her hands. Her fingers were long and sharp. Silver blue scales covered her skin. When she turned her hands, thin lines of light ran across them, as if energy lived inside her. She felt strong, heavy, powerful. "What happened to me?" she whispered. But even her voice sounded different. It was deeper, strong but calm, almost musical. She touched her face and felt scales there too. She reached behind her and felt something else, a long, smooth tail that moved when she thought about it. And when she shifted her shoulders, she felt weight, wings. Large wings folded tightly behind her. Arya stumbled toward the crystal wall and looked at her reflection. She was no longer human. She was something else. Something tall, fierce, and glowed with the same energy as the dragon hatchling she had saved. Her heart pounded. Fear, confusion, and disbelief mixed inside her. This could not be real. She remembered being shot. She remembered falling. She remembered the hatchling crying beside her. Did she die? Was this some kind of dream? A soft voice echoed in her mind. You did not die. I would not let you. Arya looked around quickly. Who said that? Do not be afraid, the voice said again. It is me. A smaller figure stepped out from the corner of the chamber. It was a hatchling, but it wasn't small anymore. It had grown, its wings now longer, its scales brighter. Its eyes, still soft and blue, looked at her with deep emotion. The hatchling stood tall and bowed its head. You saved me. Its voice echoed inside her mind. So I saved you. Arya stared, confused. Save me? How? The young dragon stepped closer. Its scales glowed brighter. My kind has an old ability. It said, when someone dies protecting us, we can give them a new life, a shared life. A life mixed with our strength. Arya touched her chest. She could feel a strong energy pulsing inside, steady and powerful. Not a human heartbeat. Something more. You change me, she whispered. I had no choice, the dragon replied softly. You were fading. I didn't want to lose you. Arya wanted to be angry. She wanted to shout that this wasn't her body. But when she looked into the dragon's eyes, she saw something she had not expected. Fear. Not fear of her, but fear of being alone. The little creature had bonded with her, trusted her completely. She took a slow breath. The air felt strange in her new lungs, but it calmed her. What am I now? The dragon hesitated before answering. You are, like me, not dragon, not human. Something new, something powerful, something the galaxy has not seen before. Arya felt a chill run down her spine. She looked at her hands again. Light moved under her scales like tiny rivers. She tested her tail, her wings. They all responded smoothly, as if they had always been part of her. "I don't know how to live like this," she said quietly. "You will learn," the dragon said. "I will help you. You helped me first." Arya tried to stand, but her legs felt strange. She was taller, heavier, when she moved too fast. Her tail swung out and hit the crystal wall with a loud crack. She flinched. The dragon let out a low, soft sound, almost like a laugh. Arya tried again, slower this time, and managed to stand straight. Her wings opened slightly on their own, reacting to her balance. She felt energy flowing through them, like she could leap into the air and fly if she wanted. She took a step toward the dragon. "What do we do now?" The dragon looked toward the chamber door. The crystal walls shook slightly, as if something outside was trying to find a way in. "Captain Rel is hunting us. He thinks you are dead. He thinks I am alone. But now, he has no idea what we have become." Arya felt a strange, new sensation inside her, a mix of anger and courage. She remembered how Rel had shot her without hesitation. She remembered how helpless she had felt. Now, she felt the opposite. "I'm not letting him take you," she said firmly. "And I won't let him hurt you," the dragon replied. The chamber lights brightened around them, reacting to their shared resolve. Energy spread through Arya's new body, like a flame rising. Her wings opened fully this time, and she felt strength she had never imagined. She was no longer the weak explorer who had died in the dirt. She was something born from fire and loyalty, something Rel would never expect. Arya's eyes glowed with a fierce blue light as she stepped forward. "Let's finish what he started." Arya stood outside the crystal chamber for the first time. The world around her felt bigger, sharper, louder. Every sound, every breath of air, every movement touched her senses in new ways. She could hear the hum of distant engines, the quiet buzz of machines behind walls, and even the heartbeat of the young dragon beside her. The hatchling, now almost her height, walked close to her. Its wings brushed the floor as they moved through a long hallway made of old metal and glowing lines of energy. The world outside will be different now, the dragon said softly in her mind. "You must be ready." Arya nodded. She was afraid, but she did not show it. She had already died once. She had already changed into something the galaxy had never seen. Fear felt small now. They reached the end of the hallway. A heavy door slid open, revealing the quiet desert planet outside. A red sky stretched far above, and ancient ruins stood like broken teeth rising from sand. But something else caught Arya's attention. Lights in the distance, dozens of them. "They're searching for us," Arya said. "Yes. Captain Rel must have told them you died," the dragon answered. "But now they have a bigger problem." Arya looked down at her hands. Light flowed under her scales like soft rivers. She did not know what she could really do yet, but she knew one thing. She would not run. They stepped into the open desert. The air was warm, almost hot, but Arya felt no discomfort. Her new body was stronger than heat, stronger than cold, stronger than anything she had ever known. The dragon tilted its head. "They are coming." A loud sound cut through the wind. Engines. Several small ships hovered low, forming a circle around her and the dragon. Soldiers jumped out, their armor shining, their weapons raised. Instead of fear, Arya felt calm. She took one step forward. The soldiers froze. The glowing lines under her scales brightened as she moved, and a soft wave of energy spread across the sand. One soldier shouted, "Identify yourself." Arya looked at him. Her voice came out smooth and powerful. "My name is Arya." They stared at her like she was a ghost. The dragon stepped beside her, eyes glowing. They sensed a bond, it told her. They fear what they do not understand. More soldiers poured out of the ships. One pointed at Arya. "She's supposed to be dead." Arya could have said nothing. She could have stayed silent and let them guess. But she needed the galaxy to hear her. Not later. Not through rumors. Now, she raised her voice. "I died saving this dragon. It saved me in return. Now we are one." The soldiers took several steps back. A commander pushed through the line, his face pale. No human should be able to survive that kind of fusion. What are you? Arya looked at him without blinking. Alive. The dragon smirked in her mind. Very dramatic. Arya tried not to smile back. But the soldiers were not done. They raised their weapons again. The commander shouted, "Capture the dragon and the hybrid. They are dangerous." Arya felt something inside her, something like fire, but smoother. It rose from her chest to her hands. The glowing lines under her scales brightened until her fingers shone like they held pieces of stars. The dragon spread its wings, matching her energy. "Do you trust me?" The dragon asked. "Yes." The soldiers fired. Arya lifted her arm without thinking. A wave of blue light exploded from her hand. The energy wrapped around the incoming blasts and dissolved them like smoke and wind. The soldiers stumbled back, shocked. What is that power?" one shouted. Arya did not know the answer, but she could feel the dragon's power inside her, mixing with her own. She could feel her heart beating with wild strength. The dragon lowered its head, eyes burning bright. "You're not just alive, Arya. You are becoming something meant to stand between worlds." Arya stepped forward again. The soldiers backed away, fear replacing their anger. "Leave now," Arya said, her voice echoing through the desert. "We don't want to harm anyone, but we will defend ourselves." The commander stared at her, unsure. Then he spoke a single word. "Retreat." The soldiers scrambled back into their ships. Engines roared, kicking up sand as they flew away. In seconds, the desert was quiet again. Arya stood still for a long moment. The dragon walked close and touched her arm lightly. "They will tell everyone about you," it said. "Your name will spread across ships and planets. They will fear you, admire you, or try to use you." Arya looked at the sky where the ships had disappeared. "Let them talk. I didn't choose this, but I'm not going to hide." The dragon nodded. "Good, because the galaxy is already changing." Arya looked at her reflection in a piece of shattered metal on the ground. She saw a face that was not human, not dragon, but something powerful and strange. "I need to learn who I am now," she whispered. "And the galaxy will learn with you," the dragon replied. Arya lifted her head, standing tall. Her story had reached its next chapter, and the galaxy was about to learn her name. Arya stood on the cliff above the desert ruins, looking down at the valley below. The wind pushed against her scales, carrying sand across the empty land. The dragon hatchling, now taller and stronger, stood beside her, its wings half open as if ready for anything. For days, they had traveled in silence, hiding from ships that circled the skies. Every night, more and more lights appeared, and Arya knew the search was growing wider. The galaxy had heard whispers about her, about the girl who died and returned as something else. But today felt different. Today felt heavier. The dragon turned its head toward her. "They are coming," it said quietly in her mind. Arya looked to the horizon. A line of ships approached, moving fast, stirring the sand into long trails behind them. She felt her heartbeat change, not fear, but a deep tension that rose from the core of her new form. The dragon stepped closer. "Are you ready?" "No," Arya said honestly, "but I have to be." The ships landed in the valley below, forming a wide circle. Soldiers marched out, followed by armored commanders and tall banners showing the crest of the Dragon Empire. At the center of the formation came someone unexpected, someone Arya recognized from her past. Captain Rel, the man who had once promised she would be safe, the man who let her die. Her hands clenched. Light flickered under her skin, reacting to her emotions. The dragon touched her arm gently. "Be calm. Your power listens to your heart." "I'm trying," Arya whispered. They descended the cliff together. Each step she took made the soldiers tighten their circle. Their weapons hummed with energy, aimed directly at her. Captain Rel stepped forward first. His armor shone in the sunlight, but his face looked tired, older than she remembered. "Arya," he said, "you're alive." She stared at him without expression. "I was alive when you left me. You didn't care then." The soldiers murmured. Rel lifted a hand to silence them. "It wasn't my choice," he said. "The council ordered it. They said you could not be saved. You didn't even try, Arya replied. Her voice was steady, but the blue glow beneath her scales brightened. Rel noticed it and took a step back. You're different now. The dragon moved protectively in front of her. She is stronger now, stronger than your entire army. The soldiers raised their weapons instantly. Rel shouted, Hold fire. That was a warning. Arya placed her hand on the dragon's side. Stop. We don't want to fight. The dragon lowered its wings slowly, but kept its eyes on the soldiers. Rel walked closer, but carefully. Arya, listen. The council is afraid. You are the first human to survive a full fusion. They want answers. They want control. I'm not a weapon, Arya said firmly. No, Rel replied. But they don't see that. They only see what you can do. The wind shifted. The tension grew thicker. The dragon stepped forward, tail flicking. If they want control, they will not get it. Rel held up both hands. Please, I didn't come to harm you. I came to talk. Arya looked at him for a long moment. She searched for truth in his face, the truth she had once trusted. But something felt wrong. His eyes shifted too quickly. His stance was too stiff. Then she saw it. Small blinking lights hidden in the sand around her. Traps! Get back! Arya shouted, but it was too late. Explosive nets burst from the ground, throwing a cage of energy around her and the dragon. The soldiers activated their shields and moved into formation. Rel stepped back, guilt and fear mixed in his face. I'm sorry, Arya. They commanded me. I had no choice. Arya felt anger rise like a storm inside her. The energy net pulled at her scales, trying to force her down. The dragon roared, flames building in its throat. They betrayed us again, the dragon growled. Break it, break it. Arya's heartbeat pounded like thunder. The glowing lines on her arms and chest brightened until they were almost white. The ground trembled under her feet. Rel shouted, Hold the field. Do not let her. Arya's power ignited. A burst of blue-white energy exploded outward, shattering the net instantly. The shockwave knocked soldiers off their feet. Sand rose in swirling clouds. The sky flickered as the energy spread across the valley. Rel stumbled backward, staring at her in horror. What are you? Arya stepped forward. The glow around her faded, leaving only calm, steady light. I am who I always was, she said. Someone who protects. The dragon stood at her side like a shadow of fire and scales. Rel lifted his weapon with shaking hands. The council will hunt you forever after this. Arya looked past him at the soldiers, still struggling to stand. Let them hunt. She took another step. The soldiers froze. I'm not running anymore, Arya said. I will choose my own path. Not the Empire's. Not the Council's. Not yours. Rel lowered his head. He knew he had lost any right to speak to her. The dragon spread its wings. Come, Arya. Our future is not here. She turned away from the soldiers. Together, she and the dragon rose into the sky, leaving the broken valley behind. Below them, the soldiers watched in fear. Rel watched in regret. And across the galaxy, news of what happened began to spread. Arya, the girl who died, the girl reborn, had just challenged an empire, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Arya and the young dragon flew far from the valley, far from the soldiers, far from the place where her new life had begun in fear. They traveled until the sun dipped behind the mountains, until shadows covered the land and cooled the hot wind. Only when the sky grew soft and purple did they finally land beside a quiet river. The dragon folded its wings and looked at her. Are you tired? It asked gently. A little, Arya said. She sat on the ground and dipped her hands in the cold water. But I'm more confused and tired. Confused about what? The dragon asked as it lay beside her, curling its tail near her feet. Everything, she answered honestly. Why me? Why did I come back? What am I supposed to do now? The dragon watched the water with calm golden eyes. Maybe you did not come back to serve anyone. Maybe you came back to change something. Change what? Arya whispered. The galaxy, the dragon said simply. Arya laughed softly. I'm just one person. No, The dragon corrected, "You are not. You are you, and you are me. We are joined now. We are one life in two forms." Arya looked at her glowing hands. Even in the dim light, the blue patterns shimmered. She still didn't fully understand the power inside her, but she no longer felt afraid of it. For the first time since her rebirth, she felt whole. But peace never lasted long. At dawn, a small ship appeared in the sky. It didn't come fast or loud like the fleet from before. It glided gently, almost nervously, and landed on the riverbank. Arya stood, ready for another fight, but the dragon touched her shoulder. "Wait, someone familiar." The hatch opened, and a woman stepped out. Old, wearing simple robes, no weapons, no armor. Arya blinked in surprise. It was Elder Saran, one of the few council members who had always been kind to her before the attack that changed her life. Saran walked slowly toward them, and then bowed her head deeply. "Arya," she said in a quiet voice, "I came alone. I came not to command. I came to ask." Arya didn't speak right away. She waited. Saran continued, "The Empire made a terrible mistake. They fear what they cannot control. They fear what they do not understand. But I want to understand." The dragon lifted its head. "You came alone. That is brave." Saran smiled sadly. "No, it is necessary." Arya asked, "What do you want from me?" Saran hesitated before answering. "I want to give you something." She opened a small device in her hand. A hologram appeared, blue light forming an image of a great star map. "This," Saran said softly, "is a location of a sanctuary, a place where the first fusion-bonded beings once lived, a place where you can learn about your new form without fear." Arya looked at the map with wide eyes. "Why give this to me?" "Because," Saran said, stepping closer, "you were wronged, and because the galaxy will need someone like you soon. Dark forces are growing in the outer systems. If we continue to fight each other, we will not survive what is coming." Arya felt a chill run through her. "You want me to help you?" Saran shook her head. "No, I want you to help everyone. Humans, dragons, all species. You have the power to do what no empire can." For a moment, Arya felt the old fear return. The fear of being used, controlled, shaped into a weapon. But the dragon pressed its warm muzzle against her hand. "We are not weapons," it whispered. "We choose our path." Arya breathed out slowly. "If I go to the sanctuary, what then?" Saran looked at her with hope. "Then you decide your own future." Arya stared at the map again. A place where beings like her once lived. A place where she might finally understand what she had become. A place where she could grow without running. After a long silence, Arya nodded. "I'll go, but I won't work for the council. I won't be controlled." Saran bowed. "I would not ask that. Not anymore." The dragon stepped forward. "And what are the soldiers who hunt us?" Saran sighed. "I will speak to the council. I will buy you time. I cannot promise more." "That's enough," Arya said. Saran left the device with the map, then returned to her ship. Before she boarded, she turned back. "Arya," she said quietly, "I am sorry for what happened to you, but I believe your future may be brighter than you think." When the ship left, silence settled again over the riverbank. Arya held the device close, feeling its faint hum. The dragon leaned against her. "Where you go, I go." Arya smiled for the first time in days. "And where we go next might finally be home." They stood together on the riverbank, watching the sky where the sanctuary waited, far, distant, glowing like a promise. Arya no longer felt lost. She no longer felt broken. She no longer feared the future, because now she had one again. A future she thought she lost, but had finally found.